Hello, friend. I'm very glad you're here today. Settle in for a moment, wherever you are. There is no need to rush, no need to prove anything, and no need to arrive here as a perfect version of yourself. A quiet beginning is enough. Let your shoulders loosen a little. Let your jaw soften. Take one slow breath in, and then let it go without force. If your mind feels crowded, that is okay. If your heart feels tired, that is okay too. For the next little while, nothing is required from you except your presence. This space is slow on purpose. It is gentle on purpose. It is made for people who feel a little overwhelmed by the speed of the world and want to return to something calmer, truer, and more human. Perhaps there have been moments recently when words rose inside you and then disappeared before reaching your mouth. Maybe you have sat with other people and felt a strange tightness in your chest, as if something important wanted to move through you but could not find its way out. Sometimes it happens in conversations. Sometimes it happens in English. Sometimes it happens with family, with friends, or even when you are alone with your own thoughts. Later, after the moment is gone, regret arrives quietly. A part of you begins asking, why didn't I say what I really meant? Another part answers with silence. After a while, that pattern can become painful. Not dramatic on the outside, perhaps, but deeply exhausting on the inside. Many people believe the problem is only confidence. Others call it shyness. Some think it is simply a language issue, a communication issue, or a personality trait. Yet the truth is often deeper than that. Beneath hesitation, beneath self-consciousness, beneath the habit of staying quiet, there is usually something more tender happening. Somewhere inside, a real voice has become difficult to hear. Not because it disappeared forever, and not because it lacks value, but because it has been covered over by too much noise. Pressure can do that. Comparison can do that. Fear can do that. Constant input can do that too. When life becomes loud in 10 different ways at once, a person may slowly lose contact with what feels natural, honest, and alive within them. Modern life makes this easier than ever. Long before the day fully begins, the mind is already being pulled in several directions. A phone lights up, a message appears, a memory returns, a worry starts talking. Something unfinished begins asking for attention. Social media shows polished lives, confident faces, strong opinions, fast success, perfect habits, and beautiful certainty. In the middle of all that movement, a quieter question often gets ignored. What do I actually feel? Without noticing, a person can spend hours responding to everything outside them, while remaining almost like a stranger to what is happening within. By the evening, the body feels tired, the mind feels crowded, and still there is a restless emptiness that no amount of scrolling, replying, or staying busy can fully remove. That emptiness does not mean there is something wrong with you. More often, it means there is too much distance between your outer life and your inner life. It means your attention has been borrowed by too many things for too long. It means the deepest part of you has not been invited into the room. A person can be surrounded by information and still lack clarity. A person can speak all day and still not feel heard, especially by themselves. A person can smile, work, reply, perform, and function, yet still carry the quiet ache of self-abandonment. That ache matters. It deserves tenderness, not judgment. Imagine a radio buried under static. Music still exists inside it, but the sound is hard to receive. Imagine a mirror covered with dust. A face is still there, but it cannot be seen clearly. Imagine a window that has stayed closed for so long that the air inside the room begins to feel stale. None of those things are broken in their essence. They are simply blocked. In many ways, the human voice works like that. The honest voice, the inner voice, the emotional voice, the voice of preference and truth and natural feeling, all of it can become hidden beneath layers of noise, fear, and habit. Once that happens,
let me tell you about someone. We can call him Adam. He was thoughtful, observant, and gentle in the way many deep people are. Small details stood out to him. Changes in tone, tension in a room, light moving across a wall, the tiredness in another person's eyes, a breeze through a curtain, the warmth of tea in a quiet kitchen. That sensitivity gave him a beautiful way of seeing the world, but it also made him careful. During conversations, he often edited himself before speaking. At dinner, he would think something real and then decide it was unnecessary. At work, an idea would come to him, but he would assume someone else probably had a better one. In messages, honesty would rise and then get softened into something easier, lighter, safer. Over time, Adam became extremely skilled at being acceptable, easy to be around, easy to agree with, easy to understand on the surface. Yet what looked calm from the outside slowly started feeling empty from the inside. The problem was never that Adam lacked a voice. The problem was that he had stopped trusting it. Years of caution had trained him to believe that being low maintenance was better than being real. Making things smooth seemed safer than making them honest. He was not living from his center anymore. He was living from anticipation, trying to predict reactions, avoid awkwardness, reduce risk, stay likable, remain easy. When a person lives that way long enough, something subtle but serious happens. The self becomes edited before it is ever Perhaps
expressed.
some part of Adam's
Energy
story
drains
feels
away.
familiar.
Clarity weakens.
Maybe you have also
The
learned
soul.
how to present a peaceful surface while feeling uncertain underneath. Perhaps you know what it is like to rehearse a sentence in your mind and still say nothing. Maybe there are rooms where you become smaller without understanding why. Maybe even while learning English, a hidden fear says, don't make a mistake, don't sound foolish, don't say too much, don't let people see that you are trying. Such fear can become so normal that it starts feeling like personality. But fear repeated often enough can look like identity when it is really just protection. Protection is not the same as freedom. Freedom. Survival is not the same as expression. Pleasing is not the same as peace. Silence is not the same as inner agreement. A person may survive for years by staying careful, but surviving in that way has a cost. The cost is intimacy with your own truth. The cost is spontaneity. The cost is honest language. The cost is a life shaped too heavily by what will keep things smooth rather than by what feels meaningful. At first, that cost may seem small. Later, it becomes difficult to ignore. Life begins to feel flat. Conversations feel thin. Motivation weakens. Even joy can seem distant because joy often needs honesty in order to fully arrive. 3 forces tend to keep this hidden pattern alive. The first is noise. Too much content, too many opinions, too much advice, too many examples of how you should live, speak, look, produce, and behave. Noise makes your own truth sound small, as if your inner voice were standing in a crowded train station trying to whisper something important. The second force is fear. Fear of judgment, fear of awkwardness, fear of taking up space, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of disappointing people, fear of being misunderstood. The third force is habit. Once silence has protected you 100 times, it starts presenting itself as the safest answer, even in moments where honesty would bring relief. Habit is powerful because it does not always feel dramatic. Often, it just feels normal. Still, normal does not always mean healthy. Familiar does not always mean true. A pattern can feel ordinary and still be deeply costly. This is one of the reasons people remain stuck for so long. They are waiting for a dramatic sign that something is wrong, while the real sign has been there quietly all along. It appears in the tiredness that follows social interactions. It appears in the heaviness after saying, "I'm fine," too many times. It appears in the silent frustration of never hearing your real thoughts spoken aloud. It appears in the strange loneliness of being known only in partial ways. Hidden pain often speaks softly, but soft does not mean unimportant.
Another thing worth saying gently is this. Many thoughtful people confuse overthinking with depth. Reflection is valuable, yes, and sensitivity is a gift, but endless mental rehearsal is not always wisdom. Sometimes it is simply fear wearing intelligent clothes. Preparing, editing, anticipating, imagining every possible reaction, and trying to say things perfectly can feel productive. Yet inside, it creates fatigue. The heart grows tense. The body remains alert. Simplicity begins to feel dangerous. A person stops trusting directness. In moments like these, advice that says, "Just be confident," is rarely enough. Confidence does not arrive because someone demanded it. Authentic speech does not bloom through pressure. A healthier nervous system matters. Quiet matters. Safety matters. Slowness matters. Soft honesty matters. What is needed is not always more motivation. Very often, what is needed is less interference, more room, more breath, more gentle contact with whatever has been tree for a long time. Real voice grows in environments where inner experience is allowed to exist without immediate correction. Consider a pond on a windy day. As long as the surface keeps shaking, your reflection cannot appear clearly. The face is there, yet it remains distorted by movement. When the water finally settles, even for a short time, clarity returns. Human awareness works in much the same way. In endless distraction, truth becomes difficult to perceive. In stillness, something honest starts to emerge. This is why quiet can feel almost unfamiliar at first. Quiet removes distractions that were keeping deeper feelings hidden. Once they begin to rise, people sometimes think something has gone wrong. In reality, something has finally begun to reveal itself. That is why a return to your voice usually begins in very small ways, not through dramatic self-reinvention, not through becoming a bold new person overnight. More often, it starts with a pause. It starts when you sit down without a screen in front of you. It starts when you ask yourself one sincere question and actually wait for the answer. It starts when a journal page receives one true sentence instead of 10 polished ones. It starts when your body says, "I'm tired," and you decide not to argue with it. It starts when you notice that your silence is coming from fear, not peace. It starts when you choose one honest word over one socially convenient one. Small beginnings are not weak beginnings. Often, they are the most durable. Here is something precious to remember. Your voice is not only what comes out when you speak. Your voice is also what you dare to know. It is what you admit privately. It is what you allow yourself to feel. It is what you stop hiding from. Sometimes the first real active voice happens in complete solitude. A person sits near a window, places a hand over their chest, and says, perhaps for the first time in many weeks, "I am not okay with this," or "I am more hurt than I expected," or "I miss myself," or "I don't want to keep pretending." Those moments may look small from the outside, but inwardly, they can mark the beginning of profound change. Truth has gravity. Once spoken, even softly, it alters the emotional landscape.
Honesty has its own kind of power. It does not need to be loud to be strong. It does not need to be impressive to be life-changing. One true sentence can return more clarity than 100 polished performances. Truth is stabilizing because it ends the internal split between what is felt and what is shown. Once that split begins to close, energy slowly comes back. The body softens, breathing changes, decisions feel less foggy. Even language can become more natural because it is no longer carrying the pressure of constant self-protection. Because this process matters so much, I want to offer you a few gentle practices, not as rules, and certainly not as another list of things you must do perfectly, but as invitations. The first practice is what I call the empty room moment. Once each day, spend 2 quiet minutes in a room, without your phone, without music, without a task, and without trying to improve yourself. Sit there, breathe there, let the noise drop a little. At first, it may feel uncomfortable because when distraction leaves, inner reality begins to speak more clearly. Restlessness may come, so may sadness, clarity, tension, relief, or a thought you have been postponing. None of that is failure. It is information. Stay kind, stay curious. The point is not to force insight. The point is to create conditions where insight can finally arrive on its own. The second practice is the one true sentence. Take a notebook, a blank document, a scrap of paper, anything simple. Then write a single honest sentence. Make it plain, make it real. There is no need for wisdom, beauty, or perfection. What matters is sincerity. I am trying too hard to be understood. I am scared of being seen trying. I feel left behind. I don't know what I want, but I know this isn't it. I want to speak more honestly. A sentence like that can feel startling at first, almost like opening a window in a room that has been closed for too long. Fresh air may feel strange before it feels good. Even so, let the air in. The third practice is the small, brave action. After hearing one true sentence, ask, what is one simple act that respects this truth? If the sentence says, I'm exhausted, the action might be resting without guilt for one evening. If the sentence says, I never express my opinion, the action might be offering one gentle preference in a conversation. If the sentence says, I feel disconnected from myself, the action might be taking a walk without your phone and paying attention to your own thoughts. If the sentence says, I hide my feelings, the action could be telling one trusted person, I've had a hard week. In this way, voice returns through respect, not aggression, through practice, not performance, through repetition, not pressure.
Something else deserves to be said clearly. Quiet people are often misunderstood, even by themselves. Softness may be mistaken for weakness. Thoughtfulness may be mistaken for passivity. Reserve may be mistaken for emptiness. Yet some of the most inwardly alive people speak less simply because they feel more. They notice more. They process deeply. Their challenge is not becoming louder. Their challenge is learning to let inner truth travel outward without being stopped by fear at every gate. The goal is not volume. The goal is congruence. Inner life and outer life need to meet. Real confidence often begins there, not in sounding strong, but in becoming aligned.
Alignment changes everything. Once your words begin to match what your body already knows, speech starts feeling less exhausting. Once your choices begin to honor what your heart has been whispering, peace becomes less theoretical and more lived. Once your boundaries reflect your true limits,
resentment eases. Once your preferences are admitted without apology, self-respect grows. From that place, even learning English becomes different. Instead of trying to sound perfect, you begin trying to sound honest. Instead of fearing mistakes so much, you start caring more about expression. Meaning returns to language. Communication becomes human again. Perhaps for many years, you were rewarded for being easy. Maybe people praised you for not causing problems, for adapting quickly, for carrying things quietly, for asking for little, for smiling through difficulty. Some of those behaviors may once have protected you, and there is no shame in that. At the same time, protection that remains too long can become a... No one needs to wait for a dramatic collapse before beginning to come back to themselves. A breakdown is not required for renewal. Clarity can begin quietly. While the world continues rushing, a person can pause and listen. While other people keep performing certainty, a person can choose sincerity. While noise keeps demanding attention, a person can notice their own breath and remain there long enough to hear something real. A life is changed not only by big decisions, but also by repeated moments of self-return. One moment, then another, then another. Eventually, what once felt unfamiliar begins to feel like home. Maybe after this video, you will sit by a window and breathe without doing anything else. Maybe you will put your phone in another room for 15 minutes. Perhaps one true sentence has already started forming in your mind. Maybe there is something you have known for weeks or months or even years, but have not wanted to say clearly. It could be small. It could be painful. It could be hopeful. Whatever it is, let it be simple. Let it be enough. Small honesty often opens larger doors. For the part of you that feels late, please listen closely. There is no need to panic, because you are only now beginning to hear your own voice more clearly. Many people spend years performing a version of themselves that keeps life smooth but leaves the soul underfed. Many people look certain while feeling disconnected. Many people seem confident because they have become skilled at hiding confusion. Comparison is dangerous because it invites you to measure your tender truth against someone else's polished surface. That comparison will almost always distort reality. Better to return to your own pace. Better to ask what is true for you now, in this season, with this heart, in this body.